While working my 9 to 5 job, no matter how hard I work and no matter how much I'm being paid, one salary is not actually enough to give me the life that I truly want. So what did I do? I went into research, did some personal re-evaluation, and discovered this 3-step pathway that I'm going to be showing you today. So without wasting your time, let's dive straight into today's topic. So without wasting your time, we're moving into the first level of this income ladder, which is the employee stage. Don't get me wrong, being an employee is not bad. But remaining on that employee role for the rest of your life is actually what is bad. Now, what do I mean by that? So most people, especially coming from the low class or the middle class, find it very, very difficult to just move into the second or the third stage. So they always start from where? The employee stage. Now, like I said in the earlier note, being an employee is not a problem. The problem is remaining an employee forever. So now, while you're an employee, what do you do to grow? When you get a job, especially in the beginning stage, even especially when you're coming out from the NYC, if you get a job that pays you around 150 to 200,000, you might see it as a big thing, right? And it's very, very good for someone like you. And the more you start solving your problems and your needs in your life, you start noticing that that money is actually not longer enough for you. Now, what do you do? So now let me tell you a story about myself. What I did when I got my job was that I noticed that the earlier salary was okay, but it took me about 6 to 8 months to realize that this salary is not going to be okay for me on the long run, because inflation came in, high cost of living increased. To top it up, my landlord even doubled my rent by 100%. That's how wild Abuja can be. I took my time, looked into my office space, and noted the positions that were earning top salaries, and that's when I began learning JavaScript. If you are an employee right now, I will urge you to look into your company. Check out the roles that are being paid higher salaries. Aim for those positions. Check out the requirements they need, the certifications or the training that is required of them. Check out the time frame required in learning those skills. If it's something you can do, quickly jump at it, because honestly speaking, it's going to pay you in the next 6 months to 1 year. You are going to be up on that income ladder. Having learned this skill and gotten that period, the next thing you need to teach yourself is going to be what? Build financial discipline. Now, this is where most employees get stuck. I know some of my colleagues that when they get a pay raise, instead of them to settle down, plan or recalculate their expenses, they just take themselves out, flex themselves, go and buy expensive items just to celebrate that they have gotten a promotion or a pay raise. And you see them the next month, maybe thinking of living larger. You see them getting into a bigger house or getting a car that they don't necessarily need at that particular time. And that is what we call lifestyle creep. If you are still on that employee level, you must know that financial discipline is key, and you must stick to having yourself contained in the same level that you were in even before the pay raise. Because let me ask you a question. Were you not living fine? Were you not okay? If you were, what was the need of having that lifestyle creep? Well, it's for you to decide or give your answer to that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. So having done that, as an employee, the third thing you must know is that you have to start saving for your future business ideas. Now, you could have ideas such as starting your own business, starting your own consulting firm, doing this, doing that. And at the end of the day, if you don't have the funds to do this thing, it will just be mere dreams in your mind. So how do you do that? Those extra income, those raise that it was given to you, if you're smart about it, you could channel that raise into your savings. Now, I'm going to be talking about some high yield investment account, or rather savings, high yield savings account, where you could put in those money and it will start working for you. But we'll still get to that particular side. So for now, you could make do with either Cowrywise or Piggyverse or bamboo, depending on what you would prefer. Having said that, that will now lead us into the stage 2 of this income part, which is what? The business stage. What does business do? Business creates leverage, scalability, ownership, and freedom. Now, all these things can be at your fingertip, but you need to still do the work. You don't just get to business stage and just say, oh, I've gotten to the stage I want to be. No. Business requires you to even put more work than an employee stage. When you're an employee, you only care about doing your own work. But now, when you're a business owner, you have to care about everything, the whole system, how it works, how your employee will relate to your customer. You have to think everything around. Do you understand? So as you grow higher, don't think the burden will get lesser. It actually increases until you get to the third stage, which I'll be telling you. So stick by in this video. And please, if you have gained anything from this video, please do well to give us a thumbs up or like and share this video so that others can also learn those things from you. Remember, while you are in employee stage, you learn a valuable skill which increase your income. Now, have you thought about it that since that thing could give you an income, you could also freelance and get other gigs, side gigs, or maybe side jobs that are still within that role of yours. Or better still, you could start a consulting firm in that your field. Now, if you do this rightly, in the next 2 to 3 months, you start talking about scaling. There are a lot of things that you could do. You could also, aside from consulting, you could also start content creation and explain to people, especially others people that are still in junior roles in that same field of yours, how you do things with those your skills that you've learned. So you see that while you are in employee stage and learned that valuable skill is going to now be very, very beneficial to you in the business aspect. Do you understand? So now, if you have done this and you have done this wisely, then it is going to take you up the ladder into the final stage. Now, before I say that final stage, please do endeavor to tell me which level are you now. Are you in the employee stage, and how is it going for you? Or are you in the business stage, and how far has your business grown? I would really love to hear your thoughts and your comments in the comment section. Please do well to also like and subscribe to the stage 3, which is the final stage. At this stage, this is where the passive income really comes in. At this stage, you don't do much work. What happens? Your money that you've accrued from your business and even your employees, they start working for you. Now, this stage is very vast. There are lots of places where you could invest your money, because this stage is simply the investor stage. You could either save your money in a high yield savings account, a fixed deposit account, or you could buy stocks, you could go into crypto, you could buy ETFs, you could buy, there are a lot of things you could do at this stage. You could even invest in someone else's business and have a percentage of their shares in that business. So this stage is where the real financial freedom starts. But how do you do this? Now, remember the business you started, right? There were income, you were getting revenue, and inside those revenue, you are getting profit. Now, would it be stupid enough to just be wasting your profit? No, you will be compounding, you'll be saving those your profit. And now, instead of just keeping it in your bank where it's idle, and in fact, inflation is going to eat it up, you can now push it into a high yield savings account, or you can invest in stocks. What are stocks? Stocks are shares of other bigger companies. Companies like Dangote Sugar, Dangote Cement, Bois, there are a lot, Airtel, MTN, even small companies, smaller companies also. They are all that their share value is not even much, like FTN Cocoa, which is around 9 naira per share right now. You could invest in this stock, and funny enough, let me show you my own list. I invested in FTN Cocoa about 3 months back. Funny enough, I made about 70% profits on just FTN Cocoa, aside from my other shares. Do you understand? That's how good or how sweet stocks can be. And I'll give a huge shout out to Financial Jennifer, because she actually opened my eye to Nigerian stocks. You understand? She lectured me a whole lot on it. So Financial Jennifer, if you're seeing this, thank you, and keep on doing what you do. Having said this, it would be wrong of me to just tell you that you could invest in it and not even recommend at least a few apps. Take note, this is not a sponsored video, but I wouldn't mind if CarryWise or any investment platform could come and could make a deal with me to do a more detailed explanation on stocks and ETFs and other investment platform. You understand? So now, to mention but a few, my own investment platform I use is CarryWise. Well, you could do it in even one if you want to, but there are a lot of them. There is CarryWise, there's AfriInvest, there is Bamboo app, there is Piggyvest. There are a lot of other applications where you could do invest your money. So at this stage, you already know that you have achieved that financial freedom. What is that financial freedom? Financial freedom is a stage whereby you don't really need to go and be hustling the 9 to 5 race. All you just need to do is just to check your stocks. Oh, I've made profit. Okay, let me take from my profit and fund my lifestyle. And that is where you can now live the kind of lifestyle you want to live. Remember when we talked about lifestyle creep? At this stage, it will not concern you again. You understand? So that being said, smart quitters, remember that we don't just quit, we level up. So see you in my next video. This video showing on screen right now is going to be telling you about my checklist and how I plan to quit my job within the shortest period of time. Do hold on and watch it. See you in that video. Bye.